Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to see so many participants to this event here in Malmö today. And I particularly would like to thank Sweden Bio for placing this year's edition of Life Science Investment Day in Malmö, what is actually a proof that Skåne and Medicon Valley is a key player in the life science sector. So, my name is Chérouvrier Hansson. Pronunciation is difficult. And I'm responsible for the life science activities at Invest in Skåne. Invest in Skåne is the official inward investment agency for Region Skåne, the region in the south of Sweden. And what we do is that we help investors, organizations, and companies to find business opportunities in our region. May it be to set up a company, to find a strategic partner, or just to invest VC money in projects in our region. We have a booth just outside of this room, so please come and speak to us and we can help you. Today's session is about boosting Medicon Valley to a world-class life science region. Invest in Skåne and Medicon Valley Alliance are jointly running a project with the aim of identifying the strengths of the region and how we will position them in the future to secure that this region remains competitive and that we reach to a world-class life science region. Stig Jørgenssen will tell you more about this in a minute, but I would like to take just a few moments of your time to say a few words about the region you're in, and more precisely, I would like to say a few numbers. Just about this picture, you see this helicopter perspective of the region you are in. We are approximately here, somewhere in Malmö. Here is Lund, here is Malmö, here is the great bridge bringing you to Copenhagen. Everything is close, everything is easy here. Some numbers, 346 years old. It's the age of Lund University, which is a major milestone for research and development in our region. Lund University today, it's 8 faculties, it's more than 30,000 students, and it's paving the way for future research and development. 20 minutes is the time you need to reach from Copenhagen Airport to Malmö Central Station. It's very easy. Most of you have probably experienced it this morning or yesterday evening. So we have access to the Scandinavian largest airport, bringing you to all international destinations. Very nice place. 350 is the number of research and development companies based in Medicon Valley, in the Danish side and the southern Swedish side. And these companies are active in the fields of pharma, biotech, and medical technology. Next slide, 6. It's 6 billion Swedish kronor, and it's actually the amount that the 2 major deals signed last year by pharma companies here in the region sum up to. So this morning you got a presentation by Puls and their project Duocort that they sold to Viro Pharma for 1 billion Swedish kronor. And then the other major deal we had last year is a deal between Camurus, a company located in Lund, and Novartis, which can amount to 5 billion Swedish kronor. 30, interesting number, it's new companies started by ex-AstraZeneca employees, showing the dynamism of our workforce here in the region. So these people at AstraZeneca in Lund that wish to remain in this region have started their own companies, and there are 30 of them, and we have information about all of them. 2014 to 2018 is going to be a very exciting period for this region when the new synchrotron MaxLab 4 and the European spallation source will start to operate to bring the next world-class research available. And I know that Alan Larsson is going to speak about this just after us. And you know what? It was 5 minutes I had for my introduction. So now I will hand over the word to Stig Jørgenssen. De rien.
Impressive.
Merci. C'est gentil.
Working? Yes, it is. Thank you, Anna. Thank you that you kept your time.
Right.
When I looked at your slide, I've been wondering about all these numbers, but now I know what they cover here. Thank you very much for the invitation. I would like to give you some short introduction to a project that Medicon Valley Alliance, together with Invest in Skåne, is running funded by the Interreg 4A program. And it's the reason for why we are doing this was very nicely illustrated by the previous speaker, not Anna, but our friend from AstraZeneca, because what he said and what has been announced recently is that AstraZeneca is moving out of Södertälje, moving something like 1,100 jobs out of Södertälje, which is not a disaster, but it's a major challenge for Sweden. And the same thing happened here in Lund a couple of years ago when AstraZeneca moved out here. And this is really the reason behind this project that I'm going to tell you a little bit more about, is to be more proactive and do something when we have the time in order to preserve our attractiveness here for the big companies to maintain a significant part of their activities in this region here. So that's what I'm going to talk about. And the whole thing is about attractiveness. And what is attractiveness? And in a global perspective, we need to preserve that. We need to do it proactively, and we need to face a very fierce global competition between different regions in order to attract talent, money, and companies, and by that, jobs, to maintain jobs. So attractiveness is key. And what does that mean? This is something about features or qualities that makes something seem interesting and worth having. And there's different ways of being attractive. You can be attracted by looks. This guy here is very attractive. This guy is also attractive, the older guy here on the left, because of money. Or power is another way of being attractive. But also regions like Medicon Valley can be attractive. And what does it take to be attractive in a global perspective? Why is that important? Because that's key to our survival in a global competition. And we are competing up against something like 300 other bioregions in the world in order to attract the same assets. So we're going to find our ways to be unique in this global competition. And there's also key to address who are we going to be attractive to. And that's what I'm coming into more details about. Because what's really key to Medicon Valley and for other regions here, we are the home of several major pharmaceutical companies, predominantly on the Danish side at the moment, Novo Nordisk, Leo Pharma, Lundbeck, just to mention a few of them. They account for something close to 40,000 jobs in Medicon Valley. It's all taxpayer. They pay tax to Denmark and also for the Swedish companies to Sweden. And we see, and I'll come back to that in a moment, things are moving eastward in terms of activity. We just heard that from our friend from AstraZeneca and Merck, how global their operations are, how easy it is to run different operations no matter where you are in the world. So what really is key to attractiveness are three things. First of all, we got to have local education, teaching environment at universities in world class. Lund University, Copenhagen University, and all the other universities got to be world class in order to attract the brightest young people, the best talent, to maintain them here so they don't go abroad, or to attract foreigners to come here to do their education. So that's one thing. And the other thing is, of course, research environment. We've got to be able to attract the best scientists, the best brains here in order to secure the feeding chain for the big companies and also the small companies in their future operations, so they can attract the best people to work for them locally here. Otherwise, they will move activities where they find talent outside, close to their big markets in the Far East or in Brazil or other places. And then, of course, we should also have a commercialization environment that makes sure that we can translate this great research into new companies that can grow and secure future jobs. Global trends, something about competition. We are, as I said before, we are one among at least 300 other bioregions around the globe. They are all competing for the same thing. They are all claiming that they are the best place to be in. And we got to be visible in this global competition. And together the Danish and the Swedish side of this Øresund region, we can compete even stronger. So that's one thing. The other thing is the whole globalization issue. Digitalization is causing things to move very easily. You can do data management or statistic in India or in Brazil or wherever you want. Big companies are moving closer to the bigger markets in the Far East, growing markets. Research, clinical research is moving where the patients are. All these things leads to losses in jobs. So that's another thing. And the whole change in paradigms we just heard about, all the opportunities. This slide is maybe a little bit difficult to read from the back, but it's just illustrate the whole transformation that the big pharmaceutical companies are undergoing in these years. They outsource or in-license a lot of activities and opportunities from smaller companies. They manufacture their products somewhere else. So they concentrate on the marketing and the sales performance, and that gives a lot of opportunity for small companies like the ones that we have here in this region. And then, of course, the whole thing about personalized medicine is also something that gives this region, Denmark and Sweden too, a major advantage in the future competition if we are proactive enough to explore it and make use of it. So there are many things that makes us start looking differently and how to compete in the future. So what this project is all about is we will look for benchmark our strongholds in this region, combining Danish and Swedish strongholds with private and public strongholds, with research and commercialization. And we will try to use these, what we call beacons, to promote and to market Medicon Valley in order to maintain the jobs here and also to raise some interest from the major international companies to do some business here as well. Just to illustrate one of these beacons, this is an example of all the different competencies that we have in this region, going from delivery system from AstraZeneca, from Novo Nordisk, pharmaceutical science, protein center, knowledge about that, nanomedicine, the new material sciences here from ESS and Max Lab 4, biological, we have other companies here focusing on antibodies, growth factors and things like that. All these together has something to do with drug delivery. And that's an example of an area where we can create the synergies between Danish stakeholders, Swedish stakeholders, public and private. So that's the first example of a beacon that we try to invest and promote in the future. And this last slide is just to illustrate some other examples of potential beacons that we will develop and market in this project. So that's what this project is all about, to identify the strongholds, to bring people together, to motivate our big research foundations to invest into these environments in order to secure research and education environments in world class. So that's the whole idea, and we hope to succeed in this within the next 3 years or so.
You mentioned before that you had 30 new companies starting up in the shadow of AstraZeneca.
Yeah, that's yeah.
What will happen next? Will come 30 more coming from Södertälje now?
First of all, these 30 companies need to grow. I mean, they need to.
I just wonder about the Södertälje happening last month. Will you see more coming down to Lund, starting up new companies? You think?
Yeah, of course. Not necessarily from Södertälje. I mean,
yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's another opportunity. Of course, they're more than welcome.
Will you attract them in any way?
Yeah, of course. We would like to attract them.
I know one is around here somewhere.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
But of course, if you have an environment where you have a lot of commercialization and other things going on, that creates opportunities.
Yes. Any questions? Have you twittered any questions so far? No. Please remember to Twitter if you don't have the courage to speak out. Well, thank you very much, both of you. Thank you.